So is this working or not? Oh, there we go. Hello, hello. Okay, so this is working. Excellent. Yeah, this is, we're actually doing this in the garage. And we're using my phone as a hotspot so I can get internet out here. And it's actually working. Of course, my wife had to set it up for me. Okay. This seems to be working. All right. How is everybody? Happy New Year. We're going to try to do this. I got you set up on a rolling cart. But I can't take it too much closer because the cable to my phone isn't that long. All right. Oh, all right. Look at that. We got a bunch of people here. Hello. Hello. Ah, my eyes. Too bright, is it? Got plenty of light. Yes. Happy New Year to everybody. Let's see. All right. Okay, this is experimental here. All right. So we are in the garage tonight. Yep, had a good New Year. How you doing, Jason, Lee? Where are your cats? They're in the house. We're out in the garage tonight. Yeah, I was cleaning the camera lens and my glasses as well. All right, this seems to be working. Right. Oh, here we go. Andy, what kind of potato am I using? That's actually out here. Here it is. So this is the camera that I used to film with, Canon Vixia HF 200. And then this is my wireless microphone receiver. The camera is really nice. I like it. This wireless microphone here, it's a Movo WMX-1. You know, having it on here is a little bit bulky, but it works pretty well. So, you know, 805 Road King turned me on to these. I used to use a Sony, like a cheap Sony camera, and this is an older model. You can pick them up pretty reasonably on eBay, which is where I got this one from. Supposedly new old stock or new never used or only used once. It works pretty well. I was actually making a video today, but I didn't finish it. That's why I didn't put a video up this afternoon. So that's actually was the video subject right there, that injection pump for the Perkins generator. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, Moondog Diesel, how's the big cat? It's supposed to be the winter project this year, but I haven't purchased the parts I need for it yet. I've been kind of beating around the bush on it. But it's funny. We'll get into this first. So in my hallway in the house, we've got a pair of three-way switches, these three-way switches actually. And over the past couple months, we've been noticing that the one, when you flick it on and off, you hear a little crackle inside the switch. And I've been putting off replacing that for one reason or another. And it got so bad is that the switch would just randomly crackle while the lights were on. So had to get that replaced today. But it's interesting. It's a brand of light switch I've never heard of before. See that? It's called the No Click. So I guess it's supposed to be a silent light switch. Now, my house was built in, I think, 1964. So I don't know if this is original or not. It certainly looks the part. It's fairly old. And I know that a lot of vintage switches are like snap action switches. So there's quite a loud clunk when you would flip the old ones up and down. They kind of had a over-center spring-loaded mechanism. So I want to take this apart and see what went wrong with it. I'm wondering if it's actually a mercury switch. That would be pretty neat. But one thing I noticed when I took it off or took it out of the wall is that at some point somebody blew it up. It's got a little arc burn there on the common. You see that? It's kind of a strange thing, strange angle here. Let me back the screw out. See that little arc burn on the screw there? So somebody made some fireworks at some point in the past. So I'm curious to take it apart. Take it apart while we're reading some comments here. Walt, thank you. Anybody ever heard of this brand of switch before, the No Click? It's got two regular screws back here to pop it back off. No, not a mercury switch. Oh well. But there is a little spring there. Oh, it's starting to rain. You can see all the dust inside the backing there. But look how well built it is, I gotta say. I think there's the contacts right up there. Interesting. All right, let me read some comments here. Looks like it's out of the arc. Yeah, Daryl, I'm glad my house didn't burn down too. Like watching paint dry, huh? That's interesting. Yeah, the joys of homeownership. Yeah, John, never had a mercury switch fail. There shouldn't be anything to fail in them, right? Unless the vial breaks. John, tell you his request. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, clean the contacts. It'll be good for another 20 years at least. Let's see if we can get this out of here. I'm going to take this screw out all the way. Seems to be really nice, really well made. I do have another reason for this live stream. Hello.
Hello.
It is working.
Is it working?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I worked really hard on it.
Taking apart this light switch.
No click?
Yeah, the No Click.
Okay, have fun. I just want to make sure.
All right, thank you.
Okay, love you. Bye. Have fun with your friends.
I will. All right, what was it? Where are we at? All right, where are we at? Yes, Happy New Year. Hi, James, how are you? Charlie, what happened to the big Caterpillar generator? It's actually sitting right over there, right in the other room on the trailer. Haven't done anything with it lately. Really poor video quality. Well, right now we're going wireless, so I have the laptop hooked up to my phone, using that as a hotspot, and that's on cellular data network. So that's where we're at. Doing the best we can. The switch, it's a Bakelite. Here's the backing for it. Pull this other side out. Yeah, really, I should be able to just clean these contacts and put it back in. I've already replaced both of them. Just bought some Leviton switches from Home Depot. So there's the one contact, there's the body, the no click. Anybody ever heard of that brand before? Made in USA. I mean, it's a really really nice case, and there's little bumpers. I didn't even notice those at first. I actually almost thought they were brushes, like carbon brushes, but there's little rubber bumpers in here. Guess that's what made it quiet. Little rubber bumpers. There's the actual toggle. Really interesting. I like how it's completely serviceable. There's all the components. Nothing is clipped together. It just had two little 632 screws, it looks like. So there's the one contact. See the little burnt area there. And the other. You know, we're using LED bulbs, so it's not like there's a whole lot of current on it. All right, where are we at here? Okay. Where are we at? Thank you very much. Greenlee. At least you have electricity. Oh, Nick, you're on a generator, huh? Yeah. So here's the one that's I haven't taken apart, and you know, it's a pretty silent operating switch. It's funny. I have a box of new old stock Bryant Mercury switches. They're only single pole though. I needed three-way. Well, this would be single pole, double throw. Those are single pole, single throws. Do they even still make Mercury switches? I doubt it. How's the Perkins generator coming? Well, that's the other subject of this video. So there, right behind me, this is the injection pump off of that Perkins. This is that CAV pump. So this was going to be this weekend's video, but didn't have enough time to finish it. But it looks good. I do have a question, though, for anybody that has worked on these before. So this is the governor spring from that pump. And it seems to me to be overstretched because this is it at its resting state, and I can compress it. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, or if it's been overstretched, or the spring itself is just taken the shape of being slightly extended from being that way for, I don't know, 40 years, however old that unit is. So, and on top of that, it seems like there's multiple part numbers of governor spring for this pump, and you have to be able to decode the pump numbers to identify which governor spring you need. So does anybody know how to do that? Or is there one spring that would be suitable for this pump? I mean, if I can't determine whether or not the spring should be replaced, I'll run it, put it back together, run it, and see how it performs. The pump was pretty dirty on the inside. It needed cleaned. I got my injectors back from the rebuild shop, and they said that they were contaminated with just dirt and varnish. Also, he mentioned that a couple of them had excess return fuel flow, so I don't know if that's because something was sticky on the inside, and a couple of them were out of calibration as far as popping pressure goes. So they went through them. All the tips were good. Didn't have to replace any of the tips, but just take them apart, clean them, and they reset them. So that's a good start at least. All right, where are we at? Jared, yeah, exactly. Every spring I have seen, governor spring, has been fully compressed. Let's put this in view. Fully compressed when at rest, not slightly extended. Let's see. Moondog Diesel, yeah, it needs to be tight. Caleb, how hard is the spring to remove? It's actually pretty easy. 2 bolts, lift the cover off, and it's right in there. You just got to unhook it and put a new one in. Let's see. Cruising farm malls. Any plans for a project, Road King and I? Yeah, I mean, we have lots of plans. It's just about getting the time to do them. He's been working on his F100 truck a lot lately, making great progress on that. So eventually we'll get back into the Briggs projects, but between my own projects and his, you know, we don't really cross paths or collaborate on anything too much anymore. Let's see. Yeah, and if it's too slow in governing, then change it. Right. So I need to know which spring to buy. You know, there are multiple part numbers listed for that pump, that DPA series pump. So I'm assuming there are multiple spring tensions, maybe different coil lengths. They're fairly inexpensive, so I guess we'll just buy a few of them if we can't make a determination. The radial Briggs, Aaron. Well, yeah, we'd like to work on that, but I don't know. I don't know what's keeping us from working on it really, other than just not having the time or the interest in it, really. To be honest with you. All right. Yeah, the switch looks like I said a distributor contacts or point contacts. It really does. Which, you know, I'm not sure what they are. I don't know if they're silver plated or what, but you can probably clean them up without too much issue. Let's see here. You find the spring rate in the literature anywhere? Well, I haven't been able to find specific details about this spring. I don't even know what part number this spring is because it seems to be multiple part numbers listed for it. Let's see. Daryl, is there still load on the spring once installed? Yes, there is. There's constant load on this spring, whether the engine is running or stopped. So this spring has had tension on it, probably, well, approximately like that. Hold this up. Probably approximately like that for the last 40 years. So it certainly could have taken a little bit of an overextended shape. That's what my thought was. And if this spring has changed metallurgically or in its rate or its collapsed length, that's certainly going to change the governor response. All right, let's see. Got to catch up on comments here. Let's see. Rick, yeah, the spring is sprung. How many different springs are there available for those pumps? I don't know. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 different ones that I've seen listed. They're not all that expensive, so I mean, I could just buy each one. Is the last generator still for sale? I'm guessing you're talking about the Perkins. That will be for sale when I'm done with it, by the way. Robert. Chris, is the F100 going to be Road King's Daily? He intends it to be. So and he's really gung-ho about getting it done. And yeah, it should be a nice truck. So he wants to kind of save miles on his Toyota and have something a little bit interesting to tool around town in. So yeah, I think it'll be its daily driver until he gets sick of no power steering and working a manual transmission again. All right. Yeah, SCS. That's probably what I'm going to do. Just buy them all and see which one approximates this one. All right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What is it? CPRO. That's pretty much where I'm at. You saw some that were completely compressed and some that were a little bit extended. Don't know. Let's see. Yeah, random guy. Probably do. Most people do have generators nowadays. Aaron, thank you. What part of Jersey you're in? We call it South Jersey. So down Gloucester County, Mullica Hill is the town. I consider it South Jersey, but you go quite a bit farther south from where I'm at. Roy, how you doing? Can you tell him to do my son's request? What was it again, John? JP, what brand generator, new or used, would you recommend? 45 to 55 kilowatt. If you're looking for something used, pretty much any brand is good. I would stay away from Generacs, that's for sure. But natural gas fuel, yeah, Onan, Caterpillar, Kohler, they're all good units. Natural gas, Caterpillar in the 45 to 55 kW range is going to be a bit odd. There's not too many of them out there. But certainly an Onan or a Kohler would be my first choice. You know, a Generac, a used Generac is probably going to have a 350 GM engine in that size range, but the controllers are prone to having issues and they're just not that great quality overall. Okay. Why would anybody try to save miles on a Toyota? Oh, I don't know. I've never owned a Toyota. Where are we at? Vet picking. How did I learn all this stuff about generators? Well, just by doing it. I mean, I work in the industry, so I work on standby generators all day, every day. So, you know, I'm constantly coming across new problems and having to troubleshoot. So it helps. Anyway, this is the governor spring for anybody who's just coming in. Governor spring for this CAV DPA pump. This is for that Perkins genset that we did last week. We load tested. So I got my injectors back from the diesel shop. They had to do a little bit of work to them, but didn't have to replace any major parts. But they needed to be cleaned and reset. But I'm almost done with this pump, cleaning it, reassembling it. I got a new seal kit for it, and we'll put it back together. I was hoping to do that, to get a video up of that this weekend, but just didn't have time. Okay, where are we at? Jared, you'd be interested in the Perkins? Okay. And it is 12 lead, so it's completely reconnectable for whatever voltage you want. You know, right now it's set up for a 122/43 phase, so it's a delta connection. But if you wanted it 122/40 single phase or 122/08 or 277/480, it's a completely reconnectable unit. So I want to finish the videos on, and I want to do the control upgrade, and then it'll be up for sale. Jim, what are the plans for the Royal line? It's for sale. I want to sell it. It's kind of big for me to keep around here. I don't have a whole lot of indoor storage anymore. I've kind of filled that up. So it's for sale. If somebody wants just the engine, I'll split it apart. It'd be kind of a shame to, but it sure would be a neat engine to have in a hot rod or something. I'll tell you that much. Now, let's see. Daryl, where the spring mounts is non-adjustable. It is. So let me grab the so this is the top of the injection pump housing. Sorry about that. I just bumped the table here. So the spring hooks on. Let me get it hooked on here. Okay. So there's the inside of the injection pump housing. The spring hooks onto this lever, which is the throttle lever. So you pull more tension up on the spring to increase the governed speed. The other side of the spring hooks onto the governor lever. So when the unit is not running, the spring is always under some tension. So it'd be a bit hard to show you. You know, approximately that kind of tension all the time, even more so when the unit's running. So, but when you want to increase the governed speed, you would adjust this lever up farther. On the outside here, there's a little bolt, like a little stop bolt. So you thread that up, back that out, that bolt out, and it pulls the lever up to your set speed. So there are multiple positions here. So there's 1, 2, 3 holes on this lever. This spring was connected in the center hole when I took it apart. and the other end of the spring was connected to the center hole on the governor lever. There's 3 holes there again. So actually, let me bring that back over here. So these 3 holes might be for, now we could look in the manual and it would tell us for sure, but just to guess, these are for 3 different speed ranges. And then the 3 holes on the governor lever are probably for setting governor sensitivity. So, which we're going to have to experiment with. I have a feeling we have to experiment with that when we get the thing back and running. All right, give me a second here to catch up. I start rambling. I'm sorry. Let's see, where are we at? Tommy, Happy New Year. Okay. Let's see, like the Toyota Land Cruiser. Yeah. You know, it's funny, somebody just sent me an email. Apparently Toyota, actually Road King sent me that email. Toyota released a new modern version of the Land Cruiser, which looks pretty impressive. I don't know if it's going to be available for sale in the United States, though. I don't know if anybody's seen that little short video of the 2022 Land Cruiser. All right, where we at? Okay. Yes, Happy New Year for Portugal. How you doing, Pedro? Let's see. Daddy Sales. You got a Simpson meter, needs a little love. If you ever get up near exit 7 on the turnpike. It's funny. What's exit 7 now? Is that Route 206? Daddy Sales, is that Route 206, or is that where you get on the interchange to go over to Pennsylvania? I forget. Or is that one more? Or is that 195? I forget. Huh. Did you watch Lance on Bundy Bear's shed for the pump? Actually, I did. I did. I took a glance at his video before I pulled this one apart. So yeah, I mean, what I'm doing here with this pump is nothing new on YouTube, but you know, just taking you along with my adventures. John Lee, you prefer a cat gen set? Well, I'm trying to think of a cat unit that would be in that 45 to 55 kilowatt range. If you want something with a Caterpillar engine, I don't think they made anything smaller. I was working on a 100 kW natural gas cat a couple weeks ago. That was a gas version of the D333 diesel. I think they probably made a natural gas version with a 3304 engine. That might be in the range, your 50 to 75 kilowatt range. Let's see. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, the new fidget spinner, huh? Yeah. Well, I realized I wasn't giving very good context. You know, look, I'm new at this live stream stuff. I don't do it very often. Jeremy, how you doing? Happy New Year. Canada. All right, where are we at now? Cookie Crabber, you're catching up on Road King's videos. Yeah, he's making some real progress on that truck, isn't he? Let's see. Half inch of travel. Well, I would say that's about correct. Yeah, roughly a half an inch from its normal resting state when the engine's not running to its normal running RPM state. Well, it's probably less than half an inch. Oh, here's my wife stopping in. Hello, video and audio are good. Thank you very much. My wife set this connection up for me. We're in the garage here only because I got my cell phone over there next to the window hooked up to, it's not Wi-Fi, or I guess cellular data, and we're using that as a hotspot because we don't have any Wi-Fi out here. I tried to run an Ethernet cable from the house out here. It's like 125 feet, and the computer just wasn't having it. So, but the cell phone works. Max, I don't think the spring changes anything on how it runs. Well, I mean, it's going to change the governed speed for one thing, and if it has changed, if its springiness has changed, that will change how the governor reacts. I mean, maybe I'm splitting hairs with this thing. I just thought I'd ask the question live and see what everybody's input was. All right, where are we at? Better get a new spring. Yeah. I mean, it's worth buying a couple of them, the ones that are available, and just if we can't get it running correctly with that spring, we will just start swapping them out. All right, where are we at now? What are your plans for powering the shop? Well, like for a standby generator for the house, I have a 20 kilowatt Onan natural gas unit that I'd like to get hooked up permanently with an automatic transfer switch, but one of those home projects that's probably going to get pushed off for a few years. Any progress on the Big Cat genset? No, none to report. I'm sorry. Let's see. Daddy sales, yeah, 195. Okay, so it is 195. Pedro, you restored a 1970s 10 kW diesel Lister, right? With a 10 kW diesel with a Leroy Somer head and a Slanzy. Am I saying that correctly? Air-cooled engine. I've never heard of that. Never heard of that make. 60 to 70 horsepower, the small Caterpillar with Perkins can do it. All right, where are we at? I'm falling really behind here. All right, Tilburg, thank you. You want a hoagie? Actually, honestly, I don't like hoagies. I don't like cold sandwiches. AJ, where to get the governor control? You can buy, complete electronic governor sets off of eBay now. They have a clone of a Governor's America controller. They've got an actuator and a mag pickup on eBay for like $140. I've used one of those Chinese clones once, and it did work. However, it seemed like the controller took a minute to boot up. When after when the controller was energized to when it was actually operate the actuator. So, but that could be tolerated or worked around if you needed to. But other than that, I try to find used parts wherever possible, good used parts. Let's see. Oh, my wife's helping you out there, AJ. She knows. So if you needed to rely on the unit and you weren't just like experimenting, you might want to go with a name brand product like Governor's America. But if you're just playing around, the Chinese clones might be worth looking into. All right, let's see. Adam, with Cat 5 or 6, I think you can go 361 feet. So 125 would be nothing. Well, maybe it was just the computer I was having issues with. We weren't using this one because this computer doesn't have an Ethernet plug on it, an Ethernet jack. So I bought an Ethernet cable and realized I couldn't plug it in. So we were using another laptop, and the thing is just really slow. So that might have been our problem as well. Let's see. How you doing, Kirk? Newfoundland. Let's see. Yes, I do still have that light tower. Oh, geez, I'm lost now. Yeah, Addie Barnes. I still have that light tower with the Kubota. That's what I use when the power goes out now. I roll it over to the house and hook it up to the panel. Only a 6 kilowatt, but it does pretty much everything we need. Okay. Adam, I was using Cat 6 cable. Burn stuff. Thank you. Let's see. Steven got one of these injection pumps on a Ford. Let's see. After pulling the top cover, doesn't quite idle down the whole way. Sure, I stretched the spring a bit. Only 200 RPM off now. Well, I mean, that's the thing too, is you do stretch the spring pretty well when you pull it off the top, but it shouldn't be enough to deform it or to overstretch it. Yeah, sounds like Eastern European for Poland. Slanzy? See. Oh, geez, I'm lost now. Okay. Can you help Diesel Creek with his own that got submerged? I think I saw that video, but I didn't watch it yet. So I'll have to check it out. Let's see. Had lag. Yeah, AJ had bad luck with the Chinese one. Try looking on eBay for, you might have to buy them independently. You might have to buy an actuator. Look for a Barber Coleman or a Woodward actuator. Honestly, there is a Chinese governor controller that's a clone of a Barber Coleman. And that's what I used on the Royal line in that video from a couple weeks ago. I think it's the ESD 8000 or something. No, that's the GAC part number. I forget what the Chinese part number is for their Barber Coleman clone. That one worked well. Had no issues with it. So that I would recommend. It was like $85. It's worth picking up for a controller. Mag pickup for the speed sensor. I would even try a Chinese one there as well. They're fairly inexpensive, and I mean, how bad can a mag pickup be? As long as the coil inside isn't shorted or open, it should be able to generate a usable signal. Yeah, Kirk, you can find a decent priced Governor America controller. It depends how much you want to spend. I think last time we got an ESD 5500 from Governors America, they're like $400. So, if you're only doing something for home backup, you can spend $1,500 easily by the time you buy a controller, an actuator, mag pickup, and any kind of wiring harness you might need. Let's see. How much time, money, life have you wasted on a simple air leak on the Perkins? Oh, come on, Charles. It could be an air leak, but I want this thing to be right. I intend to sell the Perkins gen set when I'm done, so I want to go through it completely. I don't want to just say, oh, it's good enough and sell it to some poor sap, and then he tries to use it and it falls on its face. All right. Thanks, AJ. Jerome. Picked up an Onan 15 kW JC gasoline. Finished videos Road King on the refurbishment of your unit. Actually, that one that Road King had, he decided not to use that unit. It was just too big for his application. He actually bought that thing, and he went with a small inverter unit. I have that unit over in the barn, and no, we never really finished anything on it. It runs, but it's rough. I actually might steal the generator end off of that because that was a 15 kW single phase generator end. I have a DJC, which is the diesel version of the JC, with a 3-phase generator end on it. And I'd like to pop the 3-phase generator end off and put the single phase on. Let's see. Any tips? I have bought a vintage World War II auto union generator from the Germans. Huh, that's interesting. You're from Belgium. That's even more interesting. Auto union generator. I have to see a couple of pictures of that. I can't say. You know, I had a small German two-stroke engine. It was just the engine years ago. I think I might even have a video on my channel from, I don't know, 8 years ago when I showed it. I never did get that running and ended up selling it to somebody. 100 meters for Cat 5 copper. Fiber is better between buildings. Well, when I redo the service to the garage, I intend to run a spare conduit with some communication cable, like a coax cable, Cat 5, and hey, maybe even fiber. But the service in this building, this garage, needs to be completely redone. I don't know if you can see, but these lights here, these lights are pretty much just strung with like extension cords and things like that. Whoever built this garage, the previous owner, I know that previous owner built this shop probably 30 years ago, was kind of a hack electrician. So I ended up gutting all the electric, and right now I just have a couple of extension cords running here and there because it was safer than what was in here originally. All right, where are we at now? Can a novice rebuild a Rusa Master pump? Sure. I mean, I'm working on the CAV pump. It's the first one I've taken apart. Rusa Masters aren't much different. I've worked on Rusa Master pumps before. You can take one apart and reseal it, which is what I'm doing here. Now, calibrating it and doing all the fine tuning and verifying it and checking the timing, that's a different story. You kind of need a test bench to do that. Not kind of, you really need one. But you can take it apart and reseal it. I mean, if it's leaking fuel in the oil, that's certainly not a big deal to do. You got a gen set with a Hercules and it pops off with ether but won't kick in. Okay. Well, it could certainly be the pump. It could be injector nozzles too. One thing that you might try is pull the injectors out, rotate the fuel lines around any which way you can to reconnect the injectors while they're out of the engine, and try cranking the thing and just see what the spray pattern looks like. I'm guessing it's an indirect injected engine, so they should put a nice cloud of fuel, nice little puff of fuel out when they pop. Let's see. Auto Union. Oh, I missed that one. Auto Union is Audi. Okay. We'll learn something new there. Circle F Manufacturing. 720 Monmouth Street. Circle F Manufacturing. Is that this? Yeah, I guess so. Circle F. Wait a minute. They're in New Jersey? Oh, from my home state. Circle F Manufacturing Company, 720 Monmouth Street. Trentham, New Jersey. I'm guessing that's supposed to be Trenton. Never heard of Trentham. Trenton, New Jersey. No kidding. Oh man, now I gotta fix this little switch. This is a collectible. It belongs in this house. Yeah, so I guess anybody that is just stopping in, I had two of these light switches in the house. These are three-way, and the one, not this one, the one we took apart here, was starting to spit and sputter and make sizzling noises when you turn the lights on. So we took this one apart, which was fairly easy, just a couple of number 6 screws. Oh, man, now I want to actually fix this thing. Let's see. I have a couple of Kubota 3-cylinder diesels just begging to be used for something. It's possible to mate a gen head safely. They're out of golf equipment, running hydrostatic equipment. Yeah, certainly. The Burns stuff. Yeah, certainly. I mean, you just need to identify what size bell housing they have, measure the flywheel, and you can call up Marathon or Stanford and give them that information. They should be able to size you a generator head for them. 3-cylinder diesels, 14.5 horsepower. So, that'll be like a 7 kilowatt generator end. I mean, even the Chinese have clones of Stanford generator ends now, which you can probably pick up really cheap. not that I recommend them. I've got no experience with them, but that's an option. Do I still have the cat? Any plans for it? Yeah, I do actually. Let's see here. Can I rotate this thing without? There it is, right there. You see it? Sitting on the trailer, right over there. Right over there. Still sitting there. I really want to get working on that this winter. That was kind of supposed to be, well, it was supposed to be the winter project. So now that it's the new year, I better get my butt in gear and get some work done on it, huh? Let's see. Oop, hang on. Can a small generator, oh, I saw an interesting one. Can a small generator charge a Tesla electric car? I don't see why not. It depends on, I guess, what the charge settings are on the car. I'm sure you can set them for different rates of charge. I mean, you could charge a Tesla with a 1,000-watt generator, probably. It would just take a while. Or you could charge it with a V16 Detroit diesel, and it would charge up pretty quick. But might want to keep a Honda inverter in your trunk of your Tesla if you need it. Camper Mike, how you doing? Let's see. Slanzy was Italian. It was a take by Lombardini. Interesting. Yes, make sure it's a Detroit. Topher. 6 horsepower Witty diesel has the wrong injection pump on it. It runs, but I'm looking for the proper pump. Any suggestions? That's going to be a tough one. Those injection pumps are pretty hard to find. I've never seen one for sale, new or used. You can find the injector easily enough because those American Bosch injectors were used on so many different pieces of equipment for so many years. As a matter of fact, I put a new injector nozzle on my 12-horse Witty, and the part number that I used was an injector nozzle for like a 1984 Toyota Rabbit, or not Toyota, Volkswagen Rabbit, little diesel pickup. Works just fine. Got it from Rock Auto. Let's see. The pump itself, that's going to be difficult. What do you have on there now, Topher? I'm curious what you what's on there now. Did you adapt something to work? Let's see. John Lee. Sure. Kirk. Tossed out a few old Colemans. Yeah, absolutely. Hold on to them Barbara Coleman governors if they still work. Use Cat 7. What's Cat 7? I don't even know. I had to Google the difference between Cat 5 and Cat 6. I didn't know. Randall, have I ever worked on any 400 hertz gen sets? I owned one for about a week. It was a combination. It was a really odd thing. It had a 400 hertz generator. It was the engine, a 400 hertz generator, and then a 60 hertz generator, all on one shaft. Didn't have much use for it. So my understanding was they're primarily for radio equipment, right? 400 hertz units, because you can rectify 400 hertz and it comes out smooth DC than rectifying 60 hertz. I would love to see a turbine gen set. Yeah, that would be interesting to play with. Probably very loud. Okay, backing up. Reconditioned a Rusa Master on a John Deere 520. Managed to turn it up somehow. That's pretty cool. Is it turbocharged? Hang a turbo on it now. Make use of that extra fuel. John Deere 5020. I'm not familiar with that model, so I don't know. Okay, Charles. Yeah, injection pump is hydraulic. The air in it was picking up. The air it was picking up will cause the issues you had. Well, I can understand that. I don't see how the air would cause the poor governor response. I mean, it wasn't lack of horsepower because we were able to increase the speed under load by increasing the tension on the throttle, the tension on the throttle spring. So let me pull that back over here for anybody new. So we're actually working on this pump for that Perkins gen set here, the CAV pump. This is the top housing for it. Governor spring. Let me unhook it out off of here. I had a question, actually, Charles. So here's a governor spring from that CAV pump. And at its resting state right now, it's slightly extended. Well, what I mean is the coils are not touching. I can collapse it slightly. See that? Is it supposed to be like that? Or has this spring been weakened? Or has it taken a set in an extended direction or in an extended position? Should I replace it? And if so, how do I determine which spring to purchase? Because I see that there's multiple available. Okay, Auto Union was two-stroke. Okay. I don't remember the make of the one that I had years ago. It was an interesting little machine. It might have been a generator, but it was all I had was the engine. Okay. All right. Lee. Gas turbine generator. Capstone C30 micro turbine. I think there's a couple of videos on YouTube of those. No, thanks, Christopher. Oh, thanks, Haley. Okay, R.E. Gunter. Oh, jeez. I'm using the up and down arrow keys, and sometimes this thing, it jumps. I used so many circle F receptacles and switches back in the day. They were really good devices. Used a lot of Leviton also. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a great quality piece, this light switch. I'm going to put it back together. I'm going to clean these contacts, put it back together, and set it on the shelf. I don't think I'll reinstall it at this point. So, I mean, but I'm not going to throw it away, that's for sure. Now that I know it's made in New Jersey, that's got to stand for something. How am I planning to calibrate this CAV? Do I have a test bench? No, I don't have a test bench, AJ. I took it apart and I didn't adjust anything. So we're going to put it back together like it is. Nothing should have changed. We didn't replace any specific parts in it. The only really adjustment I saw in this thing was the maximum fuel setting for the plungers. Didn't adjust that. I'm hoping to have the video on this out next week, so I don't want to talk too much about it. You have to watch the video. Old School Repair Shop, how you doing? Let's see. What I miss? Old School Repair Shop. Well, we were talking about this is the governor spring from this CAV injection pump for that Perkins generator. We're talking about that. I think this might be overextended, but I'm not sure because I can compress it slightly. It sits a little bit extended in its resting state. I don't know. We haven't really come up with a definitive answer on that yet. I think I'm just going to put it back together and see how it does. Okay, where are we at now? Jared, Tesla car charges fastest on a 2-pole 60 amp circuit. Wouldn't take much generator to do that. So 60 amp at 240 volt, what would that be? 15 or 20 kilowatt? Let's see. Capstones are very quiet. A row. Still fighting that Wisconsin AEN. What's the matter with it? Wisconsin's a pretty easy working engine. Cat 6 upward to 7 and 7E is more shielding. Okay. More shielding. Okay. Phone's going off over there. Robert Bancroft, old Dayton 12 kilowatt PTO single phase generator. Each line produces 120 and runs any shop tool. OEM voltmeter. Hook between the lines shows 240 volt. Hook up 240 volt load and nothing. What gives? That's an interesting question. I don't know. Each line produces 120, and you're reading that 120 to neutral, I'm assuming, or ground. Ground and neutral should be bonded on that, I would guess. And shielding of pairs of wires. So is that, so a Cat 5 or a Cat 6 is 4 pairs, right? And so each pair is individually shielded instead of all 4 pairs having one shield. Let's see, gensets and boxes they use on boats are interesting, always painted white. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. I guess they're painted white so that you can see leaks easier. Let's see. Whatever happened with your propane machine that had the stink oil all through the vapor system? It's, you know, what's funny, that's actually installed at a customer's home, a fairly large home. I was at that generator probably a month ago for a transfer switch related fault. And just for the heck of it, I just pulled the drip leg, the cap off the drip leg, and sure enough, there was more of that oil in there. I don't know, whatever propane vendor or supplier they're using, they must be pumping a lot of oil in that tank, because I don't know, I must have got, I don't know, 4 or 5 ounces of that oil. It wasn't all sludged up like it was, but it was oil, and it stank. Topher is still American Bosch injection pump. The number APF of the pump is supposed to be vertically mounted pump, but the guy got it from rigged this on here. Okay. Vertically mounted pump. So that has the 2-bolt flange at the bottom of it, I'm guessing. Mounted horizontally now. I mean, it'll work, right? You got to think that, you know, back in the 40s or the 50s, on a farm, that's what somebody would have done if they were mechanically inclined and they needed a pump. They would make something work. I mean, the pump is probably correct for the era of the engine, so, you know, I wouldn't be too concerned with finding a new one. It adds character. Let's see. Nicholas. Oh, jumped too far ahead again. Owning 30 gen set with a Ford CSG 6491, 6-cylinder 4.9. I believe it overheated and quit. Is it worth repairing? It overheated and quit. It should have shut down on high engine temp. So that should have saved it. High engine temp shutdown is probably 220 or 230. I mean, that should have saved it before it shut down, unless it blew a hose off and it blew all its coolant out. Now, if it blew all its coolant out and there was no coolant in the head around that temperature switch, it might not have shut down. It might have just keep running. That's why having a low coolant level switch in a gen set is nice. Okay, overheated and quit, right? We saw that one. Is it worth repairing? If you need it, it could be. They don't have a high resale value, I'll tell you that much. You know, an Onan 30 gen set with it's a 300 inline 6 Ford, and it's probably only worth $4,000 to somebody that really needs it. So if you need to overhaul the engine, you're probably not going to get your money back out of it. I mean, if you can just replace the head gasket, it would be worth doing, but if it needs something serious, it's probably not worth it, unless you can find a spare engine. Okay. AJ, you can get a CAV rebuild kit that comes with your setting of spring. I'll get you the contact. Appreciate that. What I use for the seal kit, which, let's see. This is the seal kit I bought for that CAV pump. No hard parts, just O-rings, lip seal, and sealing washers. No vanes for the fuel pump, for the transfer pump. Just a seal kit. So if you were close, I would send you a Dynagen for the upgrade. Well, Kirk, I have a unit coming down from Massachusetts probably in the next month. I got a guy contacted me. He had a brand new unit installed, a GenMac unit. And I had never heard of that brand before, but he was having issues with it. It would not run. And I tried to talk him through some things over the phone, and he could not get it to go. So he's actually going to be bringing that down from Massachusetts. So we'll try to do a video on that. Let's see. Howie, like the smell of ozone that switch puts out. That's right. Junk, how much snow did you get down there? Nothing. We've had no snow here at my house so far this year. Nothing. Not even a flake. Let's see. The hook link adjustment should be checked in that pump. Yep. I mean, I noted what they were both in the center hole. So the spring was hooked in the center hole here and the center hole on the governor arm. Continental Tech, how you doing? Plus a straight single phase for the Tesla. Oh, that's handy. Yeah, 400 hertz is definitely military stuff. Oh, gosh. Okay, here we are. Picked up, okay, NG Hermit. Picked up an early 50s Kohler 5 kilowatt, 220 crank start. Do you know if all those old units can be wired for a starter on the Gen? I believe they can. I've never done it myself, but take this. So that being said, take this advice with a grain of salt. You should be able to feed 12 or 24 volts to the positive commutator brush. Ground the negative side of the battery to chassis ground, and that should feed the field and motor the generator end to start it up. I've worked on plenty of older Kohlers and older Onins that use that exact function. That all they do is feed battery power to the positive commutator brush, and it rotates the engine over. So I would do some more investigation. Like I said, I've never made that modification myself. So, but I believe it would work. Let's see, Ace 99. For the standby generators you work on in the field, how often do they run under load? Do they ever get load banked? Yes. We like to recommend monthly load transfers to exercise the engine and the ATS with whatever building load it has. Depending on the application, if it's a diesel unit in an NFPA level 1 installation, if it does not meet 30% load once a month, it needs an annual load bank up to 75%. We have some customers that want load banks annually just because, even though they meet or exceed 30%. But any diesel should be load banked periodically if it's not run under a good load often enough. Okay. Even a natural gas unit should be load banked occasionally. I mean, you're not just testing the engine, you're testing the generator too. The generator controls the voltage regulator. If it's a brushed unit, which there are still brushed units out there, make sure the brushes are making good contact. Absolutely. Golem, how you doing? Thank you. Minnesota, hey Dan. Captain is the oil they used. Yeah, I was doing some research back when we had that propane sludge. It's pretty serious. At DOE, we had to run them monthly under 75% load. That's a good test. Make that diesel work. Let's see. Broken Wrench Garage, how you doing? How's the mercury vapor light you put up holding up? It's funny. I didn't use that light every day. It was only if I was going to be working out the garage there until probably 4 months ago. I left it on and I left it automatic so that it would turn on every night via the photocell. And just recently, I took the mercury vapor bulb out and I put an LED one in. So sorry, converted to LED there. Believe it or not, I believe I noticed that light on my power bill. Just that one extra load turning on for, say, 10 to 12 hours overnight, maybe even a little bit more as the days got shorter. I noticed that on my bill because everything else in the house is LED, including these lights here in the garage. Everything's LED except that thing. That mercury vapor was sucking down the power. So I changed it over to LED. Let's see. Where are you from? South Jersey. LPG can leave sticky varnish on the valves. Yeah. That unit that I had with I had to take the whole fuel system apart. The drip leg didn't catch it. That oily sludge got up through the vaporizer, through the solenoid valves. I just replaced the solenoid valves. It had a Woodward electronic governor valve that fed the demand regulator. So yeah, the whole thing needed to come apart and be cleaned. It was severe. Let's see. AMBAC pumps are very strange. Found a lot of Allis-Chalmers engines. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that AMBAC pump would be the PSB pumps. I've actually worked on a couple of those on Waukesha engines, and they're fairly easy to work on, just like this. I mean, this wasn't all that bad. First time I took it apart, so it went a little bit slow. I'm sure if I did one or two of these pumps, I could get the hang of it pretty reasonably. Yeah, Topher, I'll definitely be there. Cool Spring. Be there this year. All right. Nicholas found it with a broken belt. Okay. Well, so if the fan belt was broken and it still had coolant in it, it should have shut down on a high engine temp fault. I don't think they built any 30 kilowatt units that didn't have some kind of high engine temp shutdown, unless the thing is ancient from the 40s. But if it's like a 30 EK, it should have high temp shutdown, which should have protected it. Yeah, American Bosch pumps are hard to get parts for. For military generators, I haven't really dealt with those. I mean, I don't even know what an MEP 803 is. Is that the model with the little Yanmar one-cylinder engine, or is that the one with the Onan 2 or 4 cylinder air-cooled? I know they made some like 30 kW units with the Hercules white 4-cylinder diesels and 6-cylinder diesels. At 7, oh, I'll go back again. See, I'm learning stuff from you guys tonight. Let's go, going up. Cat 7 is installation grade shielding with wire mesh. Foil all 4 twisted pairs. Okay, so each pair is individually shielded. Yeah, I'm not a data communications guy, that's for sure. Let's see. Junk for less. Direct buried cable will always be a pain in the ass for lightning strikes. Wi-Fi bridges. I never heard of a Wi-Fi bridge. Might be worth doing. Fix for broken stuff. I'd really like to have a mil-spec genset. Yeah, I mean, from what I hear, they can be more trouble than they're worth, honestly. I mean, all you need is an engine and a generator and some basic controls. Seems the military stuff is a little bit over-engineered for my taste, especially if you want to keep it all original. Dan's learning curve. Did I go for school for gen sets? No, didn't go to a specific generator school. Let's see. Gens are good, cost-effective units. Use in paralleling applications. I'm actually going to go with a Basler unit, a Basler controller for this Perkins. I don't want to give my source away, but there's a guy selling Basler DGC 2020s on eBay for a really good price, and I bought 2 of them for me personally, and we bought 3 of them for work just to have on the shelf. Selling them at a really cheap price, and supposedly they're brand new. They were removed from military units. Golem 1 Deucin question mark. It's funny. I've had an issue on some Deucin the other day. Generacs with Deucin engines. Fix for broken stuff. Yes, genset service can't be taught. You can teach certain things, but there's a lot that you just have to learn hands-on because there's just so many units out there, so many different control systems and different engines, and once they're installed, they're never the same. You could have 2 units that were made consecutive serial numbers, install them in 2 different buildings, and come back 20 years later, and who knows what has changed on them. Let's see, where are we at now? Let's see, GTB 81 light switch. Okay, all right, you're an electrician. So let's go back to light switches. This is a Circle F brand, no click, 3-way, 15 amp toggle switch, light switch. I had 2 of these. This is the one. This is the other. We already took that apart. 2 of these installed in my house. The house was built in '64. I don't know if these are original, but recently the one we took apart was starting to sizzle and make crackling noises, and the lights would occasionally flicker when you flicked it on. So I ended up today actually running out. I bought 2 new ones and replaced these. I had never heard of this make, Circle F, before. Have you? Took it apart. It's really well built. There's the one contact. Here's the other. So a little bit of arc damage there. I mean, it could be cleaned and put back in service, really. I mean, it's made to be serviceable. It's got 2 flathead screws here, and the whole thing just comes apart. It's really impressive. Apparently made in New Jersey as well. So, you ever seen that brand before? All right, where are we at now? All right, coming back. Nash guy, how you doing? Kirk, what's the application for 400 hertz? It's been my understanding, but that 400 hertz is used for power where radio interference wants to be kept at a minimum or needs to be kept at a minimum, or to feed radio equipment. Apparently 400 hertz rectifies more cleanly than 60 hertz. Let's see, use Kubota lowboy gensets for everything. I've never had one of those. Don't they run at a higher speed? Rather than 1800, I mean. Let's see, find it on ships. Okay, missile silos, yeah. Okay. Don't think Greco actually makes generators. Don't know. I never worked on a Greco unit, to be honest with you. I've seen a Greco like temporary boilers installed, but I haven't seen genset. They call that wet stacking when it's not run at load enough. Yes. Yes, definitely. Yep. Older diesels will definitely wet stack, carbon up the injector nozzles, carbon up the exhaust valves, everything. Yearly load bank at 100% is CSA requirement for Canada. That's interesting. The NFPA here in the States only requires 75% load, even for level 1 life safety applications. Where are we at now? Load bank the yearly PM service call. Every machine, even air cooled. Yes. Absolutely. It's a good way to cover your butt. All right, coming back here. I think the MEP 803 is an Onan. Okay. Jump ahead, sorry. $40 a month to run them. Is that the mercury vapor light? Yeah. We went to LED with that one. T1ME, thank you very much. Portable Troy belt, 8.5K gen set. Yeah, 80% load is definitely making a little air-cooled unit like that work. CSA load test is for insurance. Okay. Yeah, Golem. There's a we have one unit. It's a 12V149 Detroit that's at an office building, and if that thing is not run with load, you can just see the oil running down past the manifolds and the inlet to the turbocharger. They need heat. They need to run hard. What's the timeline for the giant Cummins? Whenever I get around to it, there's not really a timeline on it, unfortunately. I still haven't even finished the Cat gen set. You're gonna join Road King for engine shows? Yeah, I'm usually at any engine show that he's at. I will definitely be there. Oh, I think we saw that one. The MEP 803 is owning. So is that the 2-cylinder air cooled or the 4-cylinder air cooled? Biggest gen set you played with was a 3.5 megawatt, huh? Well, you got me beat. Well, I've only ever worked on like a 2.5 meg cat, I think. Let's see. James, yeah, no problem. Set up for fuel cells to replace diesels in New York City, huh? Interesting. Yeah, Dan. Well, I actually bought the replacement bulb at Home Depot. I just bypassed the ballast and I still use the photocell, and it's just as bright, it seems to me, as the 175 watt mercury vapor, and I think it uses 30 watts. It's amazing. Now, is it going to last as long? Who knows? I don't know. Only time will tell. 8 kilowatt Delco generator on 271. It isn't from an old reefer car. It has 12-wire generator. Is there a good reference you can point me to for regulator theory and how it's wired? Is it the Delco generator end or is it the Lima generator end? The Lima generator end might be self-regulated, or it might have a Basler regulator on it. If it's a Delco generator end, it probably has the Regohm voltage regulator. Do you know what generator end it is, Joe? Yeah, I'd like to find a Detroit generator. I picked up a 271. It was an ex-reefer unit last year, and I need to get to working on that. Yeah, Kirk. Sometimes you just gotta learn stuff on your own. That's what I try to do. Rolling back up. All right. Low power consumption. All right, take it easy, fixer. Delco genset on eBay had a 671 on it. Be a nice unit to have. Nice unit to play around with. Let's see. Yeah, mercury vapor lamps can last for a long time. 4-cylinder Onan diesel for 22 horsepower for 10 kilowatt. Okay, so that is the 4-cylinder Onan. It would be equivalent to the DJC engine. Ed Turner, I'd love a military generator with a Hercules diesel engine. Send me an email. Broken Wrench Garage, collect lighting. That's pretty cool. I always like to pick up something interesting, like an interesting light fixture when I see it. Actually, I picked up a pretty neat, it's like a garage light with one of those like scalloped green porcelain reflectors, and I have that hanging up in the shop over there. Yeah, whenever I find something interesting like architectural lighting, I try to grab it. I wouldn't call myself a serious collector though. Circle F Industries, go figure. At least it's not Federal Pacific. Yeah. Stab lock breakers. I don't think I've ever worked on like a Federal Pacific panel. The oddest panel I've worked on was the Pushmatic breakers. Who made those? They seem to work pretty well, but I'm not an electrician. I don't see that stuff every day. Let's see, got a 16 kW Onan gen set with a 4-cylinder Kubota for $50 at a scrapyard. That's a good deal. I'm jealous, James. Let's see. Aerospace manufacturing companies can achieve a lower weight by using 400 hertz power. 400 hertz airplanes require fewer generators or alternators to produce a sufficient amount of power. That's interesting. I've seen it once or twice, not common. Some companies even made Mercury variants for silent operation, typically put in bedrooms. I think I just saw a mouse. Sorry. Yeah, I actually have a box of new old stock Bryant single pole Mercury switches. It's funny, I would have put one of those in the house, but I needed a 3-way. How did the Christmas light go? Pretty good. The tree's still on out there. I wrapped the plugs with plastic bags to keep the water out of them, and didn't trip any breakers. So it's that whole thing is running off of a 25 amp. No, it's 25 or a 30. I think it's a 30. Got it all hooked up to a 30 amp breaker. Got a number 4, a big long piece of number 4 SO cord running out there to feed it. What I ended up doing, I didn't show this in the video. I used some contactor I had laying around, like a 60 amp rated contactor, and an intermatic time switch to control them. So the time switch is doing pilot duty for the contactor coil to pick the load up. So it's a very temporary installation. It would not meet UL approval. All right, 400 hertz aircraft power. Yes, Nicholas. Try to find someone to look at it, let you know. Okay. Portable Generac, MMG 130D. I have no idea what that is. Under full load, we keep getting under frequency error. Can you elaborate a little bit on what kind of unit that is? What engine, what controller? Yeah, Max G, that was my understanding of why they used 400 hertz. Yeah, Jim, we typically use straight weight 30 on the Detroit units at work. On certain units, the larger units, we use straight 40. Like on the 149 series engines, we use straight 40. Greco builds their own units, Cummins prime movers, see a lot of different controllers, yeah. 150 mercury vapor for yard light. Mine was 175, I think is the bulb that I put in there. Jeff Marks, coming to Cool Spring in 2022. Yes, absolutely. We'll be there. MEP 804, 15 kilowatt. MEP 805 is 30 kilowatt. So 30 kilowatt, what would that have used? Would that have used like the 4-cylinder Hercules engine? Let's see. Sorry, just scrolling back up here. It jumped forward on me again. Seen one of those stick closed under overloaded first hand Get the heebie-jeebies when around one. Waukesha 4-cylinder 10 kilowatt Kohler gen set has been around years. 32 volt, 4 8 volt batteries that are shot any value. Can I run 24 or 36? Any interest? South Central PA. Where are you at, James or Jamie? Jamie Wogamuth. You're not related to the auction house in are you? Wogamuth auction. I've been there a few times. Any value? I've had a number of those gen sets over the years. They don't hold a whole lot of value. I would probably be interested in it to say that. Can I run it on 24 or 36 volt? 36 would be fine. 24 would probably be okay too. I don't think it would have any issue other than the automatic battery charging. You wouldn't want to overcharge those 24 volt, that 24 volt battery string. 36 volt will be fine because it's going to want to charge up to the 32 bank up to 36 anyway. So my email is on my channel under the About tab. So send me an email if you're interested in selling it. I'd like to look at it. Let's see. Higher frequency also allows smaller transformers. Okay, that's interesting. Curious, ever seen a vacuum tube-based photocell for lights? I have not. What is it used for the light sensor? I'm guessing it uses the vacuum tube to switch power for a contact of some kind. But what is it used for an actual light sensor? Joe, it's got the Delco generator end. If it's the Delco generator end, I don't have any literature for those, unfortunately. It probably has the Reg-Ohm voltage regulator, and I don't really have any literature for those either because I've never worked on one. They made just under 1,171 engines for marine gen sets. Yeah, I actually know a couple guys that have 171 generators, and I don't own one myself. I've never have. They fetch a pretty high price, in my opinion. It would be neat to get one though. Charles Kettering, AC Delco, Zephyr first diesel electric train. Yeah, that actually, I think I saw. No, actually, I was reading a book, the Clessy Cummins, the book written by Lyle Cummins about Clessy. Had a nice picture of the interior of the Zephyr, and I think it had 3 or 4 Cummins diesel gen sets paralleled for propulsion power. Pretty interesting. I would recommend reading that book. I'm almost done with it. It's called The Diesel Odyssey of Clessy Cummins, written by his son Lyle. So a good read. Fascinating history of the Cummins Engine Company. Very fascinating. Would recommend that book. 3.5 sets are zero fun to work on. Nothing is light on the engine side. Nothing but Argo. How did I get started in gen sets? Oh, it just always interested me. I've always been interested in the electrical aspect of it and the mechanical aspect of it. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to turn this heater on. It's getting kind of cold out here. Yeah, I like this propane heater. 1 sec. I'm still here. Just let me hear. I got the window open to help the cellular signal because we're using my phone as a hotspot, and it's letting quite a bit of a draft in here. It's getting a little chilly. Sort of like this propane heater. Take the chill off of it. Okay. Pushmatic was an ITE brand. Okay. Good to know. I have a Murray panel in the house now, and it's one of the panels that's got dual mains. So I've got a 75 amp main that serves one bank of breakers and a 75 amp main that serves another bank of breakers. the whole thing needs to be gutted. That's one of the eventual projects. Gut that whole thing, do a panel upgrade. So, I mean, so dual 75 amp main, so it's 150 amp service. I don't know what size the service cable is. I'd be fine with 150 amps. I don't need to go any higher than that. Let's see. Howie, now I need a shop cat. You know, we have, right now, there's 4 cats outside that kind of have the run of the place. They live in the barn, and they keep the mice away, although I thought I saw one out of the corner of my eye down here. So got plenty of cats around here. They're eating me out of the house, actually. They eat so much, which I probably shouldn't feed them. That's probably why they hang around. Let's see. AJ, my email is go to my channel, the YouTube channel, and click the About tab. And then there should be another button to click that says View Email Address. You can find it there. Let's see. Have a 30 kW own and 3-phase 4-cylinder diesel 9600. Need a wiring diagram. Golem, if you have the model number, go on. I think there's either Twinsland or Skilled Trade Crafting is the other website, and you should be able to find what you're looking for. I'm guessing that has a 4-cylinder Dorset English-built diesel on that. ITA made them. Federal Pacific ones have pretty awful history. Yeah, I've heard that. The thing about the stab block breakers was they were really good at failing closed under overload. Well, that's handy. Oh, God. So they became a fusible link at that point. Is that what you're telling me? Let's see. Joining late. What are you headed to Jacktown a couple weeks? Yes, we will be up there, Matthew. Road King and I will be up there. Looking forward to it. I have a couple things for sale as well. Let's see, automotive solution. My pickup plate up, spacing on hall sensor. Yeah. So what was that running off the cam or the crank? Is there any way to pay you for info support on a repair? Actually, I do have a couple people that do that. I occasionally consult with. PayPal works. That's what we usually do. If you want to email me, Colonial Roofing, my email is on my channel under the About tab. Send me an email and we can start talking. Doug, how you doing? Yeah, I'm going to try to keep up with the videos. I kind of get burnt out of it, burnt out of filming every couple months. So I'd like to take breaks. That's why there'll be a big gap in videos for a few months, and then I'll start doing it every week again. BJ, got a 60 kW genset with a 4-cylinder Perkins. That must be a pretty big 4-cylinder, huh? Let's see. What was it? There was a single-phase Newage generator powered by a 4-cylinder Perkins. What's that going to have for a generator or for a regulator? An MX321, I'm guessing, something like that. Not making power. Going to look into it. Could be voltage regulator. MX321, I would bet. Junk for less. You just put that song in my head now. I can't get that out of my head. Shake hands with Danger. You're gonna be 3-Finger Joe. I show that video to everybody. Everybody looks at me like I got 2 heads. Let's see. So the MEP 805 uses a John Deere 4039. Okay. So it's a newer unit then. How's the Briggs doing? Back on the shelf. What Briggs would that be? Got a lot of Briggs engines. I don't have a lot of Briggs engines anymore. Road King's got them all. Yeah, Colonial Roofing. Go to my channel. Look for my email. It's under the About tab. Send me an email. Thank you, BJ. Where would you look for a governor setup for a Ford inline 6 300? Well, if you didn't mind spending a couple bucks, you could probably go with a Governors of America throttle body actuator, and then a basic Governors of America controller, and mag pickup. If you wanted to go electronic, depends what you have now, Chuck. I've used the Governors of America throttle body actuators once or twice. I like them. They're nice. The only thing I can see, which I've never run into this issue, is if you're troubleshooting one, you don't really know where the butterfly is at. Although I believe it's an option that you can get those throttle body actuators with a little pointer on the outside that will point to, that gives you an external reference for the throttle butterfly position. I've never encountered one of those, but apparently it is an option. You're related to Dennis, okay. Yeah, Jamie, send me an email. Emails on my channel under the About tab. I'd like to see some pictures of that unit. Yeah, Golem LED is awesome. You know, at first I was like most people, like, oh, it's LEDs. I don't like LEDs. Get stick with an incandescent light, you know. But everything in the house is LED now. I have had LED bulbs fail prematurely, but I've had incandescent bulbs fail prematurely too. Let's see. Yeah, Ford 300 had fan belt pulley governors. Yep. Apparently, you can still buy those hoof governors if you wanted to spend that money. Uses a vacuum tube called a photo tube. That's interesting. Very interesting. I've never heard of that before. BJ, do I have much knowledge on those Newwich generator ends? I mean, I have a fairly decent amount. The newer Cummins owning units since probably the early 2000s used Newwich Stanford generators. So I encounter a lot of them. They're pretty basic. They got 6 rotating rectifier diodes and then the voltage regulator. Some of them have a PMG to feed the regulator power. Some of them use like a shunt in the, or they're powered off the shunt in the generator end. We call them shunt. It's really just one of the output windings. I went down too far again. Uses a vacuum tube called a photo tube. We saw that. For kicks, I need some pictures. Yeah, I'd like to see those. Let's see. Golem, your old owner has tubes. Well, they used a tube for a time delay, correct? It should be one tube for the time delay relay, usually for the glow plug, start delay. Colonial Roofing, North Carolina. Can't open your email. You should have to click a button that says view email. I don't want to post it on here, you know. Let's see here. I'm not sure how to send it to you directly. It's on there. Yeah, Dan, I'll have to look into that book. Tesla is a very, very interesting man as well. Yeah, it touched like 55 here today, but it's supposed to drop down into the 30s tonight. And like I said, I got this window open to increase my cell signal. Yeah, split bus panel. Oh, call me superstitious, Max. Jamie, okay. Waukesha on my family's business property, okay. 1943 locomotive rail crane, okay. Sounds like an interesting place. Yeah, send me an email. We'll talk. Yeah, see it. Cam bust wires, twisted shield. Yes, absolutely. Lately messing with a Cat 6M25E gen set. What would that be? Go and elaborate on that a little bit more. I'm not familiar with that model. Joseph, how you doing? Yanmar, awesome. Yes, Yanmar builds a good machine. Yeah, calling for 6 to 10 inches of snow in Baltimore. They're calling for snow here tonight as well. I mean, yesterday and today I was out in a t-shirt. It was warm. I think they're calling for like 6 inches here tonight. It's gonna be a rough drive in the morning. I gotta leave the house at 4 tomorrow morning, so I'll be driving in snow. Captain Bella. Did I find the exciter for the Cat Gen set? Nope. Have not been able to trace one down. I think we're gonna go with a modern static exciter on that Cat unit. I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to trace down an original exciter generator plus all the missing control components. I'm just gonna have to go with a Powertronics or something voltage regulator, which that's a good quality, made in the United States regulator. You know, wouldn't mind putting that on it. James, that's a funny story. I mean, it's sad, but man, that's funny. Yeah, BJ, look at that MX321. I would wager that's what that generator has for a regulator. In fact, I keep a spare on my work truck because there are so many of them out there. Yeah. I forget the Model A Briggs. That Model A Briggs is actually over at Road King's place. I think he's gonna convert that into some kind of contraption Briggs, one of our specials, either an open crank hit and miss engine or something like that. Colonial Roofing. I'm not sure how to send you my email address. I'm pushing buttons here. Copy and paste it, Colonial. Yeah, try that. I mean, if it's popping up, do that. Copy and paste it. If it's not, I'm not sure what to tell you. It's kind of strange. Nash guy, yeah, okay. So wait, and then click on you have to click on the box that says show the email. Wow, you're the only person in the world that still has an AOL email address. Why would you change it? That's what I don't understand. I mean, yeah, I have an AOL email address. I think I signed up for that email address when I was still in grade school. So I don't know. Funny, I don't even go on. I have the email on my phone now. I don't even go on like the AOL website anymore. When will we be back on the cat gen set? Hopefully this winter. I've been saying that for 2 or 3 winters now. I would like to. I really want to get it finished. Really, the Perkins unit. I want to get that done to sell it. Get a little bit of money in my pocket to finance the cat. So once we finish up the Perkins unit, we'll start working on the cat. The Perkins has probably 2 or 3 videos left to get done between putting the injection pump back together and load testing it, and then doing the control upgrade, and then load testing it again. So once we do that, we'll jump back into the cat. Let's see, Tony, how you doing? Yeah, I appreciate that, James. Don't just post the email. I mean, you should be able to open it up and copy and paste it or do something. Right. Yeah, CPR. That's right. That's exactly how you should find it. 26 kW worth buying. $999 AC engine, air cooled, and that's what the 1 liter engine. I'm guessing they're probably as good as any other home standby air cooled unit. I don't work on a lot of home standbys, so I can't really say yay or nay. Huh, AJ, it's not working for you either. That's odd. Public Eye, how did small engines get into big engines? I don't know. Just more interesting. Interests evolve. No problem, Howie. I mean, no problem. I just, they say don't put your information public at all. I don't know. Tennessee, and you have sleep on your porch. Let's see. Nash. So it doesn't pop up on mobile devices, huh? Okay. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know. That could be the reason. Try doing it on a desktop or a laptop computer. I think we're finally caught up with the comments. Yep. JD 1530, how you doing? Happy New Year. Yeah, we skipped Jacktown back in October. We were down at Tuckahoe. We did the Tuckahoe engine show. Yeah, that's going to be the way it is. Once we find once I invest the $2,000 in a modern electronic voltage regulator for that cat, then we'll find all the original parts. That would in fact, I'm going to have to do that. That's the only way I'm going to find those parts. They won't be $2,000, but it'll be pretty darn close by the time I buy the regulator and all the other accessory components that I need. It's going to be $2,000. AOL is blocked by many email servers. I wonder why. I don't know. Dave Demo, thank you. Yeah, Nash, I don't know why. That must be a YouTube thing, where certain things are just not viewable on a phone. Huh. What's the status on the 844? Well, I don't know if you saw the recent video. S-Camera. But it's running. It's a fully operational generator set, that big Waukesha. Hook it up to a transfer switch, hook it up to your house, and it's good to go. So it's for sale. If anybody wants the big Royal Line V8, It's for sale. Contact me. I'll make you a pretty reasonable deal. I don't have a whole lot of money in it. I did my videos on it. It seems to be a good, reliable engine. Got the electronic governor all squared away on it. So if anybody's interested in that, drop me a line. Colonial. No, I don't have a business name. Need a burner email, like Gmail. Isn't that what AOL is? See, Justin, any books to recommend for working on power generation equipment? There is a book. There's a book that was written by a generator tech, and it's illustrated in kind of a freehand way, almost like a sketch pad way, which we have it at the shop, and we usually give it to new hires to kind of get familiar if they don't have any experience at all. I can't recall the name. I'm sorry, I can't recall the name, but I mean, go to a library if they still exist. I'm pretty sure they do, and just pick up some books related to power generation and things like that. I have one series of books that I reference on for the old stuff. They were published by the Coin Electric and Radio School. There's a mouse. And cats aren't doing their job. I saw them this time. And cats aren't doing their job. I'm feeding them too much. They got to start working for their food. It's funny. I never sit still in the garage, and I'm always making noise. That's probably why I see the mouse. Oh, gosh. Anyway, getting back. Coin Electric and Radio School if you're working on older equipment. If you're working on newer equipment, just pick a model. Google search a generator and pick a model and just look for the service manual or the operator's manual. Just familiarize yourself with that, because most modern gen sets, as long as they're not like utility size gen sets, they operate on the same principle, small or large, more or less. So just pick up any manual you find. Yes, got the Royal line debugged. How many normal homes could you power with that giant when it's running in tip-top shape? Which cat we talking about? We talking about the old one with the D13000 or the newer one with the 337? The 337 is like twice the power of the old one, the D13000. Power a lot of homes with that, 150 kilowatts. A lot of homes. Dan, so where are you at with YouTube? They paying you anything? Yeah, I make a couple bucks, Dan. As long as I put videos up consistently, and I get decent views, yeah, I earn a couple bucks. Which honestly, that's good incentive for putting up videos, because I don't mean to complain or anything, but it does take effort. People think YouTube is, it's easy. Anybody can put up videos, and you're right. Put up videos, but unless the video goes viral, you really don't make a lot of money doing it. You really have to consistently put out videos almost on a weekly basis to kind of build your channel, which I've been trying to do, but honestly, I got to take a break every couple months because it's a lot of work. Not trying to complain or anything, but it is a lot of work. Okay. Oh, somebody found my email. I just jumped too far forward. Yeah. Joseph, nope, never had occasion to work on a turbine-powered genset. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, No more cat food. They got to start getting these mice. That's the first one I've seen. I've been in this house for 2.5 years. It's probably because I'm never out here while not making noise. Now I'm just sitting here talking to a computer. I'm not running the air compressor or banging on something. So now they think they can come on out here and lurk around. Yeah. A small engine, small generator service book would be good. Good place to start. Yeah, learn all electrical basis. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what your knowledge level of electricity is, but some high school textbooks would help even. Basic electrical theory, alternating and direct currents, things like that. Just Google it. Yeah. 4 kilowatt Onan needs a crank seal, worth saving. Yeah, it could be. If you need it, it's worth it. If you're going to replace it just to have it, you kind of got to weigh your options with this stuff. Especially the old equipment. There's not a whole lot of resale value for it. Roger, what size genset recommend for to power a whole house, including HVAC? Something in the 25 kilowatt range, I would say. The sad thing is you really don't need that much power continuously, not even half that. Barely, well, maybe a little over than a quarter of that, oftentimes, especially if your house is mostly gas. But HVAC, that's a lot of inrush current that generator needs to overcome. If you're starting up a large blower or a large refrigeration compressor. So if you're driving an electric hot water heater or an electric oven or stove top, even more so. But me, I can get by on about 6 kilowatts worth of power without running the central air. That'll do my well pump, the septic tank pump, all the lighting. It'll run the heater. We got gas fired. All I got to do is run the circulating water pump for the baseboards, and that's it. All right. Hawkins Electrical Guide. I never heard of that. I'll have to look into that myself. Any company recommendations? I'm not sure where you're at, Jordan, so I can't make any recommendations. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, Golem, up to 30 kilowatt. It depends how big your house is. I mean, I've worked on some units at homes that are 60 and 100 kilowatt. I mean, those are some pretty big houses. Dan, you have content, you're just boring, not good at editing. It takes time, I'm telling you. I mean, look at these big channels. I don't know, I'm sure some of you guys watch Vice Grip Garage, right? I like his channel. I'm not really a car guy, but I like his style. You know, he's got his goofy mannerisms, his goofy words that he uses, but I like how he seems honest. You know, I think that's just the way he is, not to start, drooling over him or anything, Vice Grip Garage. But, I remember when I first started watching his videos a year ago, he wasn't getting many views. Now he'll put up a video and 12 hours later, he'll have 12 hours later, he'll have 350,000 views like that, but he's a good personality. You got to have a pretty good personality. I don't know how my personality is. I think I come off as a little bit dry in the videos, but you gotta have some interest. Like my videos are kind of niche, the generator videos, but car guy videos actually must, obviously do a lot better. Questions: three-phase genset like the Royal line, wired three-phase Delta. Can it be 120/240 single phase? Burn up the generator. The Royal line is set up three-phase Y, so it's 120/208. I don't know if it can be reconnected. I don't think it can. When I was in the connections box, there's more than 4 wires. It's not it's more than it's not a 12-wire genset, but it's multiple Y connected. It's multiple Y connections in parallel to get the high current output you need for 208 volt. So it's not reconnectable now, unfortunately. You can get 120/208, or you can boost it up to 139/240, but I can't reconnect it for 120/240 single phase. Just can't do it. Do I watch Jonathan W? I've watched a few of his videos. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, many gensets do have the option to wire Delta or Y if they're 12-wire. The older Onins, a lot of them didn't. A lot of them were single voltage units. You could order them multi-volt or reconnectable, but a lot of time they came single voltage. Get a live trap, put it along the wall. Yep. Yeah, Adam, like I said, that's the first mouse I've ever seen in this garage. And now that I know they're in here, the cats aren't doing their job. Sorry. I'm going to have to put some traps out. Any idea you can find a service manual on a Hollingsworth generator head? I don't think I can help you with that, Joseph. I don't have a whole lot of generator manuals or service manuals for the old stuff. The old stuff's fairly easy to work on. I've got some newer manuals, but Hollingsworth generator head. Generators, a lot of them they're built very similarly. So once you get a little experience on a couple different types, you can kind of troubleshoot pretty much anything. Some people on YouTube will watch paint dry based on comments. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, well, how about that guy, Post 10? I'm sure some of you guys watch him, the Culvert guy. I watch his videos, raking leaves. I'm not criticizing him. He's doing really good. I watch the videos. Yeah, Right Script Garage. I like him. I watch his videos. Yep. Here we go. I don't know. Heat pump has 15 kW worth of heat strips. Fire off if it's 32 degrees outside. I was considering 26 kW air-cooled Generac after what you said about recovery for current rush. If you have 15 kilowatt of heat strips plus the rest of the equipment in your house, that's going to make that Generac work. That's going to make that thing work. Let's see. Thank you, Rick. Yeah, Golem. Generac actually does have these little load shedding modules. I've never used them, but I've seen them in installations. Yeah. So, I don't know if you set them with a priority. Like, for example, your heating strips versus your oven. What would have a higher priority to you, heating or cooking? You could say have the oven as a priority 2 load. So if, let's say you were using the oven and the heat strip got called, it would drop the oven, pick up the heat strip drops out when it's warmed up or heated the house, and then puts the oven back on. I could see that being annoying. That would personally annoy me if I had things just shutting off randomly through the house. I mean, I think it's better to be just efficient with your power consumption, really. I mean, eventually I'm going to install about a 20 kW natural gas unit. That should run my AC, the whole house, the power up the shop, and we should be good. All right, where are we at now? Sorry. The personality seems fine. Thank you. Dan's learning curve. Yeah. Yeah. Justin, how you doing? No problem. Golem, what was exponential increase in wattage? Can you go into that a little bit more? What do you mean by that? For a series wired heater. Post 10 will die in a drain. Well, that's not very nice. I mean, some of the stuff is a little sketchy he does. I mean, I certainly wouldn't go crawling in a culvert. No, not a chance. But hey, you know, that's his thing. That's his thing. Everybody's got a thing. Cole, do I watch The Boss Garage? I have watched some of his videos. They're getting a little bit too over edited for my taste. Too many like weird takes, and I don't know. I like a pretty basic channel. Vice Grip Garage, he's getting a little over edited. Look, listen to me criticizing people. I'm trying not to be critical, but I don't like channels that are over edited. If I wanted to watch an over edited channel, I'd watch television. You know, I want to watch a guy with a camera filming something, because that's what my videos are like. I don't want background music. I don't really need like montages and things like that. A little bit of editing is okay, but yeah, I don't need quick pans, things like that. For that, you can watch television. But yeah, some of the Boss videos are good. Yeah, Nash guy, his channel has really grown. Keith Rutger, he's another good one. Richards, yep. Keith Rucker makes my kind of videos. It's just a guy working in a shop talking about stuff. You know? Let's see. Recommend an electronic governor setup for Mitsubishi on a 15 kW light plant. What kind of, well, is that, first off, is that a diesel? I don't know. Mitsubishi S4L2. I don't know my Mitsubishi engines. Is that a gas job or a diesel? There are quite a few direct mount actuators for smaller injection pumps. Governors in America does have a pretty good selection. You have to enlighten me a little bit more, Graydon. Yeah, your wife shakes. Mine does the same thing when I watch Post 10. Same thing. She says, "Oh, is that the again?" Like, yeah. Yeah. Adam, you met Wrench Guy Mike? Okay. Yes. Yeah, I've met Mike a number of times. He actually, I stayed over at his place. My wife and I did a few days when we went out to the Caterpillar factory in Indiana. He's a super nice guy. Very knowledgeable on the old cat equipment, although, you know, he's very humble. You know, he'll tell you, oh, you know, I'm not really sure about this, but he's an intelligent guy, really is. And he's a great collector. He's a good friend. Yeah, I think so. I mean, heck, that D30 337 cat, that could pretty much run the whole block. That thing's a beast. Well, let's see. Howie, yeah, I had a feeling you were joking. Jason, how you doing? Wayne, what's the concern running a three-phase unit unbalanced? Well, there's a couple of things you got to watch out for. Often the main concern is voltage regulation. Depending on the unit, some voltage regulators do not monitor voltage on all three phases. Some of them only sense on one phase, one line, or two lines. And if you're pulling a heavy load on, or an excessive load on the lines that are not being sensed, that voltage will drop and the voltage regulator will not accommodate for it. If you're pulling heavy on one of the lines that the voltage regulator is sensing, the voltage regulator is going to act to boost that line up, and the lesser loaded line will have a higher voltage, which can burn some things up. Also, a winding in a generator is only rated for so much. So how can I say this? You can't pull full nameplate amps from one line. That full nameplate amps assumes a pretty even balance with heat, as far as heat dissipation from the winding to the laminations to the outside of the stator or whatever fan that it has blowing through it. It's heat. It's heat balance. I think Golem's got you. Unbalanced phase equals heat. Yes, we don't want that. 61, yeah, he's good too. Yeah, I haven't watched TV in years either, honestly. Just reruns of old shows. Let's see. Scott, thank you. Do you like to watch Andrew? I can't pronounce his last name. Camarada. I've watched a few of his videos. I haven't watched enough of them though to have an opinion. Honestly, I've seen a few of them. I don't like people. I shouldn't say that. I don't really watch channels that go for like the shock and awe, clickbait stuff. I try to stay away from that. I don't think he is that way personally, but I haven't watched a whole lot of his content. There's so many people out there. You can't see them all. Okay. Following up here. Jeez. Smoke show for sure. Yep. Okay, here we go. Mitsubishi 4-cylinder diesel, driving a pancake gen drilled and tapped for a flywheel sensor. Okay, well, that's handy. So you got a space for a mag pickup. Yeah, you'll have to look into your injection pump and see what kind of external governor actuator you can fit. Or, like I said, check with Governors of America and see if they sell a kit for your unit. They do sell electronic governor kits for a few different diesel and gaseous gen sets. Or go the eBay route, buy a generic actuator, a generic controller, a generic mag pickup, and make your own. Dan's learning curve, how much machining experience? Well, it's just self-taught and not a whole lot. It's my Bridgeport mill and my little South Bend. Well, not that little. South Bend lays over there. I don't really do a whole lot of machine work. I do what I need to do to repair something. So, but I don't really do machining for projects. Like I don't make little models and things like that. Make a tool or make a part to repair something. That's what the lathe and the mill. I wouldn't consider machining it to be a hobby of mine, although I do enjoy it and I enjoy learning about it. Gathering up tooling and whatnot. Tooling's expensive though, super expensive. But I've made a few different things. I mean, most of my machining stuff has been on those little Briggs engine projects that I do over with Road King on his channel. Squatch is a good one. Let's see. Golem, yeah, I've heard of those crank starters, those wind-up springs, but I've never seen one. Yeah, Watch West Work is another good channel. Wolf Bark Growl. Little Chinese single-cylinder Yanmar knockoffs. I've never worked on one of those things, to be honest with you. I know they sell those little things on small, like 5 kilowatt generators. I've never come across one. So I can't say. You watch way too much YouTube, Howie. That's all right. Watch Diesel Creek. I don't watch him frequently. Let's see. Not have anything against him. I just don't really get around to seeing all these people. There's so many interesting channels out there, but you know. Well, let's see. Backing up again. I actually watch a couple of electronics channels too. Something I've always been interested in. Joseph. Yeah, tooling is expensive. Cards and cameras. I think I've seen a few of their videos. You know. Oh, okay. You do have some Circle F stuff, don't you, huh? A couple neon lamp assemblies came out of Bonomatic coffee maker. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, you getting snow over there, NG? Mercury switches are not particularly reliable. They clog up with junk in the bilge showers. What do you mean, Roger? Huh. Let's see. Watch Whistling Diesel. That's one that I do not watch. That's a little bit too clickbaity for me. I mean, nothing against him. That's his style. But yeah, that's the shock and awe that I don't like, that Whistling Diesel stuff. But hey, works for him. Everybody's got their thing. I don't watch it. Mr. Carlson's Lab, I watch him. Yep. He's he's got that kind of he sits there, he talks about a thing, he very methodically goes through his different projects. And he always pulls out something odd that I've never heard of and never seen. So, yep. Mr. Carlson's a good electronics channel. This Old Tony. Okay, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. He's another one I watch. Yes. Yep, I love his humor. Let's see. Yep. You use Leviton. Yeah, here's that switch, that Circle F, for anybody that didn't see this earlier. Circle F, old, circa 1950s or not 50s, 60s or 70s, 3-way single pole toggle. Here's the one we took apart. I think I'm going to clean these contacts. Put this thing back into service. At least keep it for a spare. It'll probably last longer than the Leviton one that I put in. Let's see, where are we at now? Doug, whatever happened to the Onan that we dragged out of the woods? Sitting right outside the door here, actually. And it turns over. Recently, I just put a bar on the crankshaft and it spins. So that's a big plus. I have the spark plug soaking with some PB Blaster now because they're all rusted up. I want to pull them out. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with that old Onan, that 1947. That's so cool. It almost deserves an actual restoration, like a paint job and making the engine, 100%. But I don't like to paint things, but it would look nice painted up. I mean, there's no paint left on it as it sits, so it might as well. Let's see. Fish find. Yeah, you're right. It's not clickbait if he does what he says he's going to do. But, I don't know, the shock and awe aspect of it, that's a little excessive for me. But, hey, like I said, works for him. Everybody's got a thing. My stuff's rambling on about generators. People seem to like that. Photonic induction, yes. That's a great channel. He came back recently, I think. He was away for a while and put up some pretty good videos. He's got some odd stuff. Yep. Yep. Many of us like the same channels, Joe, I would have to say. Yeah, NG, yeah. He Photonic disappeared again. But, you know, it could be just like me. I get sick of making YouTube videos every once in a while. It's life. Life gets in the way. You get busy with things. You know? He is smart. I'll tell you that much. He is a smart guy. All right, take it easy, Six Toes. These old engines missed the collab with Road King. Go check his channel. He's got playlists of the six or so hit and miss, or not hit and miss, but Briggs and Stratton projects we've done. The 4-cylinder, the hit and miss, the 2-cylinder, the water cooled, the clear head. Quite a few of them, right? The overhead valve. So yeah. Go over 805 Road King. Check his channel out. He puts up a couple videos a week. He's working on a 1964 F100 right now. Howie, yeah, that's right. They're not making them anymore. A-Bomb, yeah, I forgot about him. I watch his channel. He gets a lot of grief in his comments. I'll tell you. Some people are so critical. I'll tell you. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of machinists out there that there's only one way to do it, and that's their way. And he just gets so many not hate comments, but armchair machinists. Don't ever stop rambling about generators. Thank you. Let's see. House built in 1890. I have one of those switches in my house. Probably do. You probably have one of the button switches, right? Where you push the button to turn the lights on, the one to turn them off. I've never seen one of those actually installed, but I have a couple of them laying around. Yep. All right. A couple years ago, I started making vacuum tube amplifiers because of some channels. Yeah, that's something I wish I would get into, is the old vacuum tube tech. So that's one of those things. There's just so much to learn. Hello. Okay. Yeah, I know. It is. Oh gosh. I got to get up at 3 tomorrow. Star Trek's ready. Okay.
It's not on Prime anymore, by the way.
What do you mean?
On Paramount Plus.
We gotta pay. I gotta pay for a 20-year-old television. 20-year-old.
Paramount Plus. Don't worry, I have it already.
I gotta pay for a 30-year-old television program. Okay.
Okay, it's okay.
All right. Well, I'll be in a few minutes.
All your friends good night.
All right. All right. Well, the boss just said it's time to get off the computer and go lay down. Let's see. Cole, have ever worked on a 149 series? Yes, I have. Nothing serious, just injector replacements and stuff like that. Let's see. Kevin, how you doing? Yes. Styropyro, A-Bomb, yes. All right, well, I actually I got to leave for tonight. I got to get up early tomorrow. I didn't realize how late it was. Thanks for being part of the live stream. I appreciate it. Thanks for the advice on the governor and on the toggle switch. We're definitely going to repair that one and keep it on the shelf as a spare. So have a good night, everybody. Should have a video up of the Perkins. Well, let's see. Next week's Perkins video should be putting this pump back together, putting it back on the engine. So see you next week. Take it easy.